your life is all about the number of experiences you have, and you should always experience something new. And so I would hope that young girls would look and say, yes, I have my own business, and yes, I have 2 boys that are in middle school and they run all sorts of different activities, and yes, I'm in the legislature, and yes, I play a role at the national political scene as well. So yes, you can do it. We lived in Nebraska for about 6 years and had kids, and then moved back to South Dakota. And when we moved back, I went and visited the legislature, and I noticed there weren't a lot of young females with kids in the legislature. So I thought, well, I can do that, and talked it over with my spouse. And at that time, my kids were 2 and 3 years old. When I decided to run, they were 3 and 4 years old, and I guess we've never stopped. We've never stopped doing it. So I felt like I fill a niche with the young moms, and try to make sure that voice gets heard. I call it the soccer mom voice. So yeah, try to look out for the young families. There is more to this world than just living in South Dakota and living in my house and doing my everyday activities, knowing that there's people out there that didn't have a house, that didn't have running water, didn't have a bathroom to go to the bathroom in. When you're 18 and you see that for the first time, it wakes you up a little bit. I mean, I've always known it was out there. You watch the TV and you see it, but once you see it for the very first time as a teenager, I think that woke me up a little bit. So once we went to school, I went to the University of South Dakota, and my roommate and I started the Habitat for Humanity chapter at USD. So that was kind of our big thing, and we did little projects for folks who needed help painting their houses and things like that. I mean, I grew up watching my grandmother, who was a pharmacist, and my other grandmother was really active in her church and was a higher up person in her church. And so watching my grandmothers and my mom really always work hard and always do whatever they wanted, and it didn't seem to matter to them if there were any barriers or not. They always just seemed to accomplish what they wanted to and made the decisions they needed to do for what was best for their family and then what was best for them. So everybody asks how the house isn't burned down when I'm gone so much, but you know, I have a great support system. My husband is phenomenal. We call him super dad around here because he's a super dad. He still works and takes care of the kids when I'm gone, and gets the kids to the soccer practices when I'm not able to. He helps coordinate their schedules when it comes to their basketball schedules, their baseball schedules, their soccer schedules, and you name it, what other ball that they're playing at that point in time. And they're running. They do a lot of competitive running too. So we have super dad, and then my folks are only 30 miles away, and my husband's brother's 30 miles away. I have a brother that's 15 miles away, and everybody's within less than an hour. So we have a great support system to help us out with the kids. And if anybody says it's too much, then it's the time to walk away from the legislature. They made me chairs, so I don't know if I am excited or if I've been cursed. So we'll see. Back in the 70s and 80s, there were a lot more women in the legislature. It was commonplace for a lot of women to be in leadership positions and things like that. I'm finding now that more and more women are staying home with their kids. They're not pursuing the high careers, and it's a choice now that they don't have to prove anything like our mothers did. So I've noticed that we're seeing a transition back to the stay-at-home mom, which is good because kids are getting a lot more care from home and a lot more attention at home. But when it comes to politics and business, I think there's still that void of that soccer mom. I guess I'd probably say I'm a control freak. I am worried that the voices won't get heard. There's not a lot of soccer moms. This last election, actually, there were quite a few young females with kids elected, which is great. So maybe I can take a break. Everyone asks, is there something bigger and better in politics? And, I haven't even put any thought into that. My goal right now is my kids are in middle school. And they graduate from high school in 6 years. And at that point, they're in college. I have about 6 years left in the legislature. And I haven't made any decisions on what's going to happen in the future. So I have my own business consulting company. I'd like to expand that when I have time. So maybe that'll be one of my goals in the future. But there's a lot of things I can do at this point. I just haven't figured out exactly what I want to do when I grow up.